We're rating them all, and as we went through the Kanto decks, availability was shockingly the subject with by far the most controversy and discussion. I'm still scarred from the Alakazam arguments. But we just finished up rating every Pokemon in Kanto, and for about 2/3 of the decks, I was just rating the availability with my gut, which obviously has its flaws. So then I came up with a system to accurately measure availability as objectively and accurately as possible, which actually makes a few upsets in our top and bottom 5, so you don't want to miss that. There were a few options for which system to put into place, so then I put it up to a vote for the viewers to decide. So today we're going to be going through and fixing all of the earlier Pokemon that I just kind of winged it on. And as you can see here, the system that won is pretty simple. Anything before the second gym is 5 stars, and then it tapers down through the game afterward. It's easy to follow. We just take each Pokemon's score per region that it appears in, and then average it out to find its availability with a few additional rules. Like if a Pokemon is restricted to post-game in any region that isn't its home region, we just don't count it at all because that's just basically a bonus encounter, as well as a few other things that can bring the score up or down. For example, things that can cause a boosted score would be a Pokemon of misproportionate strength being available before that part of the game, like Nidoking and Alakazam being available before the second gym and about 20 levels before your other Pokemon are around that strength. So that's obviously going to give them a boost, though you guys did not like that one. However, there are also negatives. Like version exclusivity gets -half a star since it's only available in one version, which then extends to other things like the starters, fossils, and the Hitmon duo since you can only get one of them, as well as other Pokemon getting penalized for having a really late evolution. And finally, the big one, trait evolutions, which has probably caused me to lose more hair than both of my kids combined. But they do get a -1 star penalty on top of whatever other boosts or negatives that they may have. But without further ado, here are the actual changes and fixes. 2 evolution lines actually got their scores lowered. Both Jigglypuff's line and Bellsprout's both dropped down from a 4.5 to a 4. Then my gut was actually pretty spot on for most of Kanto's Pokemon. I got a lot of them right, but quite a few had their scores boosted by ½ a star, like the evolution lines for Ekans, Nidoran male and female, Clefairy, Oddish, Diglett, Mankey, Poliwag, Machop, Farfetch'd, Dodrio, Seal, Grimer, Shelder, Onix, Krabby, Execute, Cubone, and Coughing. But I was actually really far off on a few of them. The lines of Sandshrew, Meowth, Growlithe, Tentacool, and the Hitmon duo all went up by a whole star. And I wish that was the worst of it, but it's not. I was way off on a few. Vulpix and Ninetales went up by a star and a half from 2.5 to 4. The same can be said for Venonat and Psyduck evolution lines, going from 3 to 4.5 and 2.5 to 4 respectively. And all of those fixes did result in some changes in both the top and bottom 5s. Few Pokemon like Venomoth actually escaped the bottom 5, while Jigglypuff and Wigglytuff slid down further, as well as bringing Weedle, Lickitung, and Krabby back into the final Kanto bottom 5. The top 5, however, actually stayed more or less the same, just with 2 pretty huge changes. Arcanine jumps all the way up to second place to tie Alakazam, and Growlithe gets itself back into the top 5. And well, that sums up the changes. I will be doing a total recap of Gen 1, just going over the interesting patterns and interesting scores, things that surprised me, but either way, that should be coming soon. The compilation video should already be up, and I'll see you in Gen 2.